Hi and welcome back to MDriven. In this session, I'm gonna show you how you get out of a jam. If you're in a big hurry, you need to quickly whip something up to help you with the progress to move on. And we're gonna apply some of the vibe coding techniques that I've shown before, but we have added more to them. So I started this research for this video with the Bing chat, and basically I asked it that I said that I want to show the product MDriven designer that takes this input, and one is a short description of information definition, and from that produce information model and views for an enterprise grade information system with web interface. So that's something that you would want if you're in a hurry and if you have a customer that has an idea and you want to show off what you can do. And second, I said that a short description of wanted look and feel and apply that to the system to get the styling. And then I asked this, or rather will ask, because I'm asking it again now and I don't know what it's going to say. As we all know, these LLMs make up a new answer each time you. So having done the steps above, it can then fill the system with some generated test data to test it out. And my question to the LLM then is, can you suggest some test cases that will impress an extremely skeptical developer on how this actually works? And that is you. You're the extremely skeptical developer. So let's see if you get impressed. Absolutely. To impress a highly skeptical developer, the test cases should demonstrate the efficiency, flexibility, and automation power of MDriven Designer. Here are some test cases that showcase its capabilities. So instant model generation from minimal input. Test case. Provide a simple one-line business requirement such as manage employee records with department and projects. So if this is all you have, we can grab all of this information in, well, let's grab this. And heading over to MDriven Designer, I would start with having a, I'm going to do a new diagram. So that I'm going to add a class diagram for this. And I'm going to right click in that and say vibe information. So I'm going to say this is, I'm going to paste in that data here, provide a simple one-line business requirement. I actually don't want that. It's confusing. So this is all I get. So diagram 2 is manage employees. I got a result in my diagram. I'm going to do layout to expand to avoid collisions. So there's a department, there's an employee, and there's a project, many to many here, and a department has many employees, and there's a bunch of view models. So I can, that's fair. I gave it very little information and it gave me a few things back. So what I can do now is to try to start this system in the live edit. I guess I'm gonna make sure that I have the latest. I'm gonna start that and head over to live edit. So I got some seekers, the department seeker, the employee seeker, and the project seeker. So these will of course be empty, there's no data in it. But that's the thing that you really want when you're going to show this to a customer really fast. You would want some data. And of course you could try to create data manually by following the interface, but that might be a hassle. So we added another vibe function to make you even faster. And that's on the debug tab. So we're going to start this debugger against the same system, and then we have this new button that we can wipe data from the diagram. So the diagram 2 manage employees. What we will do now is to look at the diagram to see what classes and associations there are on the diagram, and have the LLM create some data for that. So I can see that we got some results. There are dirty objects. This means that what the LLM does for us, or this function rather does for us, is actually create the objects, but it doesn't save. So that's up to me to see if I want to save this to my database. I can inspect the currently dirty objects, and I can double click these to get some auto-generated forms for this and see what kind of data it has created. So it has set the description, enhancing the so this is a project, enhancing the integrity and weather controlling capabilities of a certain Asgardian hammer. All right, so that's a project that it wiped for me, and I can see if there are any associations set for this. There are no employees set for this. No, so that one doesn't seem to have any. Let's see. I'm gonna save this, and now when I search here, I get some results. So that's good. I can do, so this is the department seeker. And let's see what kind of view or value stores are there. Project value store. So these are all the projects, and I can show the project document. So in this phase 1 of this project, that's called the Marsh Colony Terraform. There aren't any employees added to this. Might have gotten confused by the multilink. So that's something for us to check going forward. But let's see the department value store. If there are any, here's an employee on this department anyway. This employee is A. Curry at Atlantis Research. And yeah, his name is Artie Curry. And of course, since this is just wide for me now, so I got the information structure and I got the demo data. What I might want to do is get some cooler styling to it before presenting it for my customer. And I'm going to do a theme on this. I'm going to turn off the edit to remove these edit and indicators, because that might confuse. And then I'm going to have an idea of what my theme should be. Let's see if I got any hint from that. An interface with sensible views, forms, and yeah, I got a modern minimalistic dark mode with large buttons and intuitive icons. Right. Let's see. So this is what the LLM would expect that we do from this. So I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this kind of. So now I got a theme from that, and I can run the application in any web browser and see if I can search for departments and look at the department. So if I'm not happy with this UI, I can do a couple of things. One of the things is to ask to wipe the design of this UI. So what the LLM, the information vibing we did in the diagram did for us was to add this diagram, but it didn't think too much about that. It just did a simple auto form based on the class. So view and manage details of a single employee record. That is what the plan was from the LLM when it did this. So that's fine. I can use that information and ask it to wipe up the design, because now this is grid-based, but I want it, what do you call it, so that it folds when we resize it. So I'm going to press this one. All right, it returned, and I can see that it looks like the list of projects went away. So wiping is not without side effects, but one of the things that I've seen that it has done is turn the project list into a list view, and that might not be exactly what I want. So I'm going to remove the placing containers for this, because the placing containers is when you have something that's normally a data grid, and then you put a placing container in it, it will turn it into a list view instead. Let's see if I create a project. Yeah, so it will turn up like this for each project. Yeah, I guess it can be okay. But if I don't like that, I might as well just delete the placing containers for the table, and then I'm back with a data table instead. And that might be what I want. If I were to add things and I can jump to them, I need to save before continuing. And I'm here, and then I can this view and manage details of a single project record. Then I can wipe that as well. So the latest idea that we have on the drawing table is to add another vibe functionality within the view model that should extend the information shown. Basically, it can do things like this: add column and then follow associations and pick things from other places based on the plan for the view. But that's something that we will get to going forward. Cool. So this was a quick example of a simple system. I can see that you're not convinced, so I'm going to do one more. I'm going to save this. Basically, I'm going to do a new one from scratch. Let's see what we had then. Test case: generate synthetic, define a business model for an online bookstore with customer books, orders, and payments. So I'm going to wipe that bookstore. And I got something, and I'm going to lay out this, expand to avoid collisions, and I can see that I got payment under order, and I got some books and a customer. I'm going to save this model as bookstore. And same here, I'm going to start the live edit for this one. And yeah, I'm going to head over to get some test data. So for the bookstore, I'm going to wipe for the bookstore diagram. And I can see that there were 23 objects created for me. They are dirty anyway. And clicking, just checking one of them. You can see that this is a book, and there's some data in that, and let's see if there are any order items. Yes, there were. So this is good. Now we can see that the vibing of the information is also tying the associations. So I'm going to say these are yellow because they are in an unsaved state, and saving them turns them into background color again. And yeah, so this one actually failed because I will need a view model for index. So that was my bad. I should have built it on a template, but I didn't. So I'm going to add a new view model. I'm going to call it index and just give it any type. And now I can search for books. Oh, I got cover image, but there. Okay, so the vibe information added an image attribute, but the LLM can't really generate the image. So, but then I'm free to actually upload an image if that is what I want. And what's lacking even more is that I don't have the save action, so it won't save. That's easily fixed, I think, by going into the actions menu and ensure standard actions. But then everything restarted, so I need to upload the image again. Now I can save them. Yes, so, and what about the theme for this then? Should that look the same? And this is also cool. Real-time adjustment and regeneration. So include book reviews and customer ratings, it asks. Well, will it manage that, you wonder, as a big skeptic? Well, basically, I can just go into this dialog and append something, because this is designed to actually take what you have on this diagram and extend it to solve this plan. Right, so I got something back. Now I got a book review that's connected to a customer and also a book. Looks good. Very good. And saving that, I will probably have, yeah, I can search for book reviews, but I don't have any book reviews because I haven't gone through the vibe data step. And I got 20 items. I'm going to save those and hope that one of them is a book review. I got some reviews, and the review is actually set to a book. So here I can choose which book and which customer it is that's going to use them. And that might not be ideal for setting these things, but it's a start. And of course, this is the LLMs is just, the vibing is just helping us to get started. We are then totally free to add our own things here. So I can pick something from the model, or I can add a generic new column and say that this has an expression. So what's the expression? Yeah, since we are object oriented, I'll start with self, and then I can say that the book review should have it has the review date and a rating. Yeah, let's say that it has an admin comment so that the administrator can decide what to do with this. And of course, that wasn't added as of yet, so we need to add a new attribute, admin comment. And then that shows up in the book review, so now we know what we have. And that could be a string, absolutely. And we're good, but we might want to, yeah. So let's see if, and we probably want this to be admin. And I'm free to write a comment and save that. So, good. Let's move on to, and there are some more requests here. What is it that a true skeptic would do here will be the biggest concern. Is that correct spell? I don't know. A true skeptic, especially a seasoned developer, will likely challenge automation, flexibility, and reliability, and real-world usability. So, can AI-generated model truly handle complex real-world scenarios? Well, I'm not sure, but it can definitely help us getting started. And if we need more here, we are free to add classes with attributes and associations in any way we see fit. What's good with this is that we get the total description of what we have, and the system will always, because once we are in model, there's nothing AI about it. It's a totally clean transformation from model to running application. So that won't be different every time you press play. It will always be the same. Your model is your definition. So this is replacing the code. What's happening behind the scenes on MDriven server and MDriven turnkey is that the model is interpreted exactly the same way all the time to code and database and the models to views. 2. What happens when I need to override or fine-tune the generated model? Yes, so again, you're free to add and move things any way you see fit, and you can even run the plugin, the MDriven framework within Visual Studio to generate code and have methods in your classes like this if you need that. And those methods can be filled with C#. But you can just as easily do something with the action language, which is an extension of OCL. Is the UI generation just a gimmick? Will it hold up in a real application? Yes, good question. Let's see. So the UI is, in this case, grid-based. So this won't be very flexible and adaptable to different screen sizes, but it's easy going. To get it flexible and to follow along on different screen sizes, you would extend it with the placing containers. And placing containers are basic flex boxes. So anything you can do with flex boxes, you can also do with a placing container. In this case, I made it a list view. That might not be what I want. In this case, I'm going to remove that. And this way I can control if this actually should be a row instead, so that I have the table here and then the controls for the selected item here. This can be immediately tested. So this was a customer value store, and I can jump into the customer value store with existing data under customer value store, and I can see that this sort of behaves okay. Maybe I would want it to fold. Maybe I don't want this menu. If I want to hide this altogether, I will hide this sidebar. And if I can point to this and say that this one should wrap when it's tight, and apparently this one was set to, I'm gonna add a 300 max to that. So now it's not tight, but when it's tight, it would wrap. And these red squares and everything, that comes from the edit helper, so that's not the way it will look. And of course, one could run this in a browser straight off. This is a master detail too. So I would say it's not just a gimmick, and we have tried this with the extremely large view models, multiple hundreds of view model columns, as we call these, and it behaves really nice. And one of the benefits of being in this controlled environment is that MDriven can really help you to fetch things efficiently for your particular use case. So it's often very much faster than if you have set someone to hand code the SQL to actually fetch all of these things. So there are multiple benefits of using the model-driven approach here. What about performance and scalability? So that was just the thing that I alluded to. Since we are in a controlled environment, we can calculate ahead of time how to fetch things, and there are no surprises and there are no coding bugs. So it will definitely do what you want much faster, and it won't ever break from that you have. Of course, you will still have the think bugs that you will discover that this is not what I wanted, but it won't have the coding bugs that you know what you want and you thought you did just what you want, but there's some coding issue. So does this lock me into an ecosystem? Yes, that's a relevant question. And we have had people that say that this is so good and so fast so that I will never change to something else. And of course, that could be argued that you're locked in. But all in all, this is producing the documentation in UML and following all the standards. So you have the system description in the open UML format with our extension of the view models. So all your definition is ready available in a high-level format that you can transform to anything that you want. And it's easy to, for example, add plugins to the MDriven designer to take all this structured information on what the application should be and generate something completely else. So is this actually better than hand coding? And I would argue that it is, but because it's very much less time. So if I want to add something to a database, to the backend, I would probably need to add the attribute, and that would need code to the front-end code and to the back-end code and to the transport layers and to the database script, etc. And all of those things are handled for me. And the database looks just like your model. Everything will be the way you have designed it here. So you'll be able to easily read the database and the database data, and there's no lock-in, and you can use SQL Server or Postgres or MySQL or anything like that. That's fine. So there's absolutely no problem in you own stuff. It's your things. Final blow, a live challenge, the most convincing strategy. Ask them to describe a completely new system concept and watch MDriven designer build it in minutes. So that's up to you. please write something in the comments and I can do a video on how to implement that using these strategies. So we're not dragging on too long. I hope of course, there are more videos that you will want to watch if this is something for you. One of the things that you might want to watch next is the ability to quickly go to Azure, create, if you have a tenant in Azure, actually create a spot in Azure and upload the MDriven server and turnkey server to those spots, filling it with your model and running it live on the internet. So that might be the next step for you with this kind of modeling. So super excited to have you on board, and hope to see you and hear from you. Comment and please like and subscribe. Thank you.